Thank you for joining us for Just for Juniors. I'm going to walk you through what the next steps look like for you and your junior and what post-secondary things you need to be working on and things you need to do in the future. I'll start with introductions. Miss Jones is counselor for students with last names A through G. Miss Walker has students H through PA, and Miss Hackfeld has PE through Z. We invite you first to stay connected. The newsletter that comes out weekly from Ms. Timms is very useful. There's also a Facebook page for the counseling office, and coming soon will be a class of 2024 page as well. That will be located on our website as well as in the newsletter. The counselors have created a college and career resource page. This is a great document that you can use to look at the various ways to pay for college, career exploration tools, trade schools, military opportunities, everything that comes after high school. We've collected resources for that. Junior conferences. We're beginning junior conferences with your student this week. They will be held during flex time. Your student will receive an invitation to join us either in the library or the DLC, and they'll come home with a red folder. We're going to discuss their post-graduation plans, the application process, timelines, and students will receive this red folder with a credit check and verification of their senior course selections. They'll also have their counselor there if they have any specific questions about what's next. So where do you start when you're getting started on the path to college? It can be overwhelming. We are here to help. Steps for college admissions right now. You need to begin narrowing your college search. And one way to do that is to visit different campuses and see what you're interested in as far as size of school, where it's located, the culture on the campus, and things that you want your school to have, and the choice of major that you'd like for your school to have. Check those admission deadlines and criteria. Texas A&M and University of Texas specifically have pretty early deadlines, and they are very strict on those deadlines for applications. You can take the college visits, like we mentioned. You need to begin taking the SAT or ACT, or again, if you've taken it previously, and determine which teachers you'd like to ask to write a letter of recommendation. So for your college visits, you do get 2 excused absences per semester. Call the school individually for an appointment. So if you're going to Texas Tech and you'd like to do an individual tour, you would call the school or go online. You can also set one up that way as well. They have web preview days where they do virtual tours as well. Bring a list of questions. How many students are in each class? What's your biggest choice of major? What do most people come to your school for? And then get signed up for any virtual college tours that they have for various schools. College fair and college representatives. We have the college fair in the fall of 2024. Your student and you are welcome to come and explore the different colleges that will be represented there at the college fair. And then we have many college reps and admissions people on campus here in our lunches would love to talk to your student and love to talk to them about their school and how they would gain admission. So some things to consider when choosing a college. This is specifically for your student. So what available academic programs, majors, what's your major field of interest? What kind of support services do they have? What's the campus atmosphere? The size of the school, the class size, what are the housing options? What is the town surrounding it like? And then also, it's important to look at their retention rate, meaning how many students stay there for their entire college career, or how many people leave or transfer after just 1 year. That's something to look at as well. Something that's not quite as important is where your best friend is going, your boyfriend, girlfriend, close to home, school colors, and the sticker price of a program. Testing versus SAT versus ACT, and what does test optional mean? Test optional means that you do not necessarily have to have an SAT or ACT score, or you do not necessarily have to turn that score in or over to the school. We always suggest that you do take both of these tests, and do as well as you can so that it can help you with scholarship, etc. It also can be the pushing point if you do well on those tests, but your GPA is not as high as you'd like it to be. The SAT or ACT could help you in that regard as well as far as admissions go. So some test prep for those tests. Khan Academy for College Board, and then the ACT offers something similar called Kaplan. Both of these are online, and you can go to both of the websites, College Board and ACT.org, to get started on those for free. There are also local tutors and classes offered in the spring that you can look into as well, and we're happy to help you find those. Letters of recommendation. Please give your counselor or teachers plenty of notice, so at least 2 weeks, and that's for a letter of recommendation for admission, or if that's a letter of recommendation for scholarship. Please give your teacher or counselor or any other professional at least 2 weeks to complete those. Letters are not usually released or emailed to the student or parent. And then state schools usually don't ask for letters of recommendation. That's mostly private schools, Ivy League schools, etc. You also want to have a resume prepared when you ask someone for a letter of recommendation so that they can brag about your other accomplishments. So not just your GPA or your academic grades, but extracurricular things that you're involved in, awards that you may have received, any accolades. Make sure that you put those on your resume as well. Financial aid. We'll have a financial aid night for seniors in the fall, and complete that application after October 1st of your senior year. It is a new graduation requirement by the state. So you either have to file for a waiver for the FAFSA, or you fill out the FAFSA and see what government programs you're entitled to. Scholarships. Always search the college first. They'll be able to give you the most money, and then smaller amounts of money come from our local scholarship listing. Ms. Walker puts out a scholarship newsletter and sends that out to seniors monthly. So look at those for ways to pay for school as well. So ways to get admitted, of course, the top 10% rule for all Texas state schools, except the University of Texas at Austin. They're the top 6% rule this year. That keeps getting smaller and smaller. Assured admission if you have a certain GPA or test score, and then sometimes they have holistic review, meaning they're looking at you as a whole student, what you're involved in, any extracurricular activities, the rigor of the courses you've taken, and then transfer admission if you were going to go to a 2-year school first or another 4-year school and transfer in, sister school. So alternate pathways. If you're bound and determined to go to a top tier school, but your GPA and test score isn't where you'd like for it to be, you can do a couple of things. Community college or junior college for 2 years and then meet that transfer criteria, which is different for each school. Or, like I said, go to a branch or sister school. Examples of that would be like UT San Antonio, University of Texas at Arlington, if you wanted to go to the University of Texas, or Blinn, if you wanted to go to Texas A&M. And then, of course, if you wanted to go stay close to home and go to Weatherford or Tarrant County College for a year or two, and then apply for transfer, that's a good way for admission to those top tier universities as well. If you plan to attend a 2-year school, Weatherford College or TCC, you would apply at goapplytexas.org. You do not have to have an SAT or ACT scores. Most are rolling admission, meaning that you can apply at any time. There's not an application deadline. But make sure that when you are signing up for those courses, that you know which ones will transfer to the school that you want to go to. So where to find the applications? Where do you start? Applytexas.org is all 2- and 4-year Texas public schools, and then a few private schools, Baylor, TCU, etc. Common application is accepted by more than 1,000 schools. Majority of those are private, but then there are some public schools on there as well. Coalition application is not as common, and an individual college application is by some colleges. Weatherford College is using their own application at this time, and some schools do that. So you would want to start with the school itself and see which application that they use. Major Clarity. This is the tool that we use, the software program, to explore secondary exploration. So if you want to look at different schools and do a college search, this is also where your letters of recommendation will be requested. And this is also where you will request your transcript. So this is a very important piece of the puzzle. Believe it or not, we still have seniors in their spring semester that don't know how to request their transcript or letter of recommendation, even though we've gone over Major Clarity and how to use it. We do have a handout, and then this is a live link to a video showing you how to explore different colleges, and then also how to request letters of recommendation as well as your transcript for those different schools. If you have questions about that, please see your counselor and we can give you the handout that gives you the step-by-step on how to utilize Major Clarity. Major Clarity is located on your launch pad. So as a student, they have a launch pad that has Canvas and different applications. Major Clarity is also an icon in their launch pad. It has a little MC with a ribbon on it. And if you have a question, it also has this little chat feature down here. So if you get to Major Clarity, but you're unsure how to do the application process or how to request your transcript, you can click this little chat icon and someone will help you with that if you're unsure. Okay, so that's all we have for today. We will, like I said, be visiting with your student in the next month about the application process. If questions come up in the summer, we will be here through middle of June and then come back at the end of July. So any questions we can answer at that point. We do recommend that you start the application process now, make your accounts at those various applications, and begin that process so that at the beginning of the school year, beginning of your senior year, you're not quite as busy and not as stressed as you would be if you hadn't begun that process. Also be thinking of who you're going to ask for letters of recommendation and be putting together a resume so that you can give those individuals a resume of your accolades, extracurricular activities, etc. Please let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help. And feel free to visit this presentation several times as needed, as well as emailing your counselor about any questions that you have. Thanks so much.